first matchup is standing by. Look at that. They got their noisemakers. It is a packed house. And there is the first man stepping to the stage. It's GokuEatsWatermelon from Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
My name is Jesse Sang, and my in-game name is GokuEatsWatermelon. I live in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I'm 30 years old right now, and I'm a network engineer. Goku is my dog's name. He really likes eating watermelon. I don't allow him to eat, but every time I cut a watermelon and put it on the table, he's trying to steal it from me. So that's why I use that name. I have two dogs. I love them so much. They're like children to me. Like, they don't talk back. They don't argue with you, and they listen to you all the time. Or not all the time. They secretly pee somewhere. I don't know, of course. but yeah, I love them so much.
Goku may love to eat watermelon, but it's Jesse who's going to be looking to eat the competition. And speaking of that competition, let's bring him to the stage. The man from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, 35 years of age. It's fealorn.
My name is Guillaume Wolf. I'm 35 years old. I'm from Mississauga, Ontario. My in-game name is fealorn, and I'm in the financial services industry. I'm very passionate when it comes to running. It started, I think, 2007 or so with my first half marathon. Since then, I've run over 18 marathons, including one last weekend. Running and gaming are very different. Gaming fulfills my tactical needs and needs to always be thinking, critically thinking and planning. I really enjoy strategy. Running is more on the athletic side. You need to challenge your mind, and you also have to challenge your body and be healthy. If I won the title here in New York, it would be something that I could tell my kids that, you know, Daddy was cool, perhaps at one point, and won a video game tournament. That'd be an interesting story to tell.
Well, they're out there right now, and they're not necessarily listening, but I do have some intel on the weaknesses of each of these players according to themselves. Goku says sometimes he gets a little tilted, and obviously you want to stay composed when you're having an opponent as tough as a guy like fealorn throwing his best at you. fealorn, on the other side, says he can get a little too emotionally invested, so a little bit of an interesting dynamic and storyline to these two. As I defer to you two gentlemen to get us started with the draft, here we go. It's GokuEatsWatermelon against fealorn in the first of our round of 16 matchups.
All right, it looks like we have it going underway. Mr. fealorn is locking down Amelia and Bastet. Looks like Goku did get the first pick. Is that Ganymede right there? It looks almost like a Ganymede. All right. And then, of course, we got Tiana right now sitting here, 18 seconds to the side. Goku has to choose something to incorporate. Clay, what do you think he should add here, considering what we have laid out by fealorn?
I think so far he's doing an okay job of countering. Obviously, both teams now have a gauge booster between Tiana and Bastet. I think Amelia is a really strong choice from fealorn, though, one of the better monsters in RTA right now at the higher end play. But it looks like now fealorn answering back at all of those 3-1 monsters with an Okeanos pick of his choice. Hasn't locked in just yet, but he is hovering over it right now. And both players still trying to decide what they're going to be doing throughout this entire match. It's going to be kind of back and forth as they go through this pick man stage.
Yep, it looks like he went ahead and locked down Okeanos and NFL. Now we have Goku to pick. He has 22 seconds to decide what are the final two monsters that he will use to try to counter what he currently sees from fealorn. Considering fealorn is locking down that Okeanos, bringing the AoE stun, we have the reset on the second skill. What do you think he should do right here, Clay?
I think right now with fealorn having 3 dominant water monsters, he's got to be really careful for that Feng Yan. He doesn't really have an answer to Feng Yan, but there's an answer right there. Fermion choice. Everybody likes to see those LD Nat 5s, and we're going to get to see it in the first round today. Super exciting. And now it's onto the ban stage, though. For fealorn, I would be looking at banning that Wind Panda. That's going to be still the main threat to his team. And then for Goku, I would actually look into potentially banning out that Okeanos or even the Fermion as well.
Yep, I noticed that they're taking the time, ladies and gents, here, definitely trying to decide which one to ban. This is a very crucial aspect of the game, the pick and ban phase. If you make a mistake here, it could be the match.
And just as we were talking about as well, Okeanos down on fealorn and Fangyan down on Goku's team. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I believe, I would say that Goku's probably going to get the first turn with either Wusa or Tiana, and then go straight into a combination with Ganymede, which could leave fealorn in a pretty tough situation to come back, especially if that Icarus is speed tuned as well. It might take out one monster right off the start.
Correct. Tons of burst damage there by Icarus. We'll see.
And both players saying that they're super emotional, so hopefully we'll see some emotions on their face as we get started as well.
All right, it looks like fealorn is going to get the first turn using Bastet. We now have Amelia loading up with the immunity and the attack buff here. Here we go. Nice. Looks like they're going to try to work down Icarus there, but unfortunately, Tiana is ready to go here. Wish Immortality is up, providing the immunity and shield for 3 turns. Now we're going to be looking to see who he's going to try to lock down with that sleep.
Looks like it's a violent Wusa.
It is a violent Wusa, that is correct. Interesting set here. Who are we going to reset here? It looks like they're going to be going for Annabelle. Really good choice. Annabelle bringing that immunity, or correction, the cleansing as well as the heal and the AoE defense break. So I like the choice on that there by Goku.
Pretty big damage from Icarus on the Fermion, but not enough to really do too much to turn the match in Goku's favor right off the start here. So we'll see how the match plays out, but he did get the defense break on Fermion, which is definitely good to see for Goku.
Yep. Looks like Goku's going to continuously try to work on that Fermion. Fermion being the one that's really going to provide a lot of damage on that team. That defense buff provided with the defense, scaling on that monster, can do a lot of work on this match come the end.
Look at that ventilate right into the Icarus, so that way she gets her turn again, and
boom,
down goes Fermion.
There it is.
Making it a 4-3 match in favor of Goku, plus it is on Violent as well. So Wusa going to be on Violent, also the Icarus on Violent, having extremely good cycling between having Ganymede on the team as well. So this one right now, hugely in favor of Goku as it stands.
Yeah, fealorn on perma snooze right now, it looks like.
Yeah, it's really hard. With regards to Icarus and that particular skill, being able to do a fixed amount of damage regardless of what your defense is, and then of course, that Fermion being a defense-based monster, it can do a ton of damage and take it out.
Oh, and it looks like there was a connection loss. I'm not sure if the match is completely off or not.
Now, this gives us an opportunity to discuss some of the rules that we have in place in the event that these sorts of connection losses happen. Both players are going to be obligated to draft the same monsters. I mean, expand on this for me, Clay.
Yeah, so what's going to happen now is that each player has to pick the same monsters that they picked in the first round. The first person that got the first pick will also get the first pick in this round, and then it will switch in the second round. But it looks like we're back now, so we will get right back into it, but the rules have to be the same where everybody picks the same monsters. That's
yeah, certainly, just to try to keep it as fair as possible. And these are sort of the curveballs that get thrown. When you're out there playing, you got to shake it off, and we are back and connected, resuming the match.
All right, it looks like it goes to the board.
So it looks like we didn't completely disconnect the match, so there's not going to be new picks, but we just disconnected so we couldn't see the match at that point. But if that were to happen where the match is completely disconnected, then we would have to pick the same monsters.
Correct. All right, I'm curious to see what fealorn is going to decide to do with this immunity, the sustainability that Goku is bringing. It's going to be hard to kind of break through with Fermion not being able to remove any beneficial effects, Clay.
Yeah, not a whole lot of damage now from fealorn's team with having Fermion out of the picture, but there's still a lot of sustain, especially with that Amelia putting up that immunity almost every single turn. It's going to be really hard to finish off fealorn, but I still think that with the Ventilate and the Dark Recovery from Icarus, it's still going to be in Goku's favor, almost 100%.
Let's see what happened here. Zuko is up right now, going to use his second skill, doing damage based on the enemy's attack speed. And of course, considering how people set up their runes or whatnot, a lot of these people are bringing a lot of speed into the mix here. Was able to take down Annabelle. We're now in favor of Goku 4-2. He actually ended the match. fealorn ended. Now it is first round goes to Goku.
Yeah, game number 1 goes to Goku, and it felt like the writing was on the wall fairly early in that. This is the moment where you got to get right back into the saddle if you're fealorn and decide how you're going to make the proper adjustments to prevent that sort of outcome. That sleep early on from Goku, really debilitating, set him way behind the 8 ball and was never able to bounce back.
Yeah, I think Goku's strategy going into it was a little bit unique. You don't see a lot of violent Wusas, and then to have the Tiana faster than the Wusa, it was a really, really good situation. And then having the Ventilate from Ganymede go right into the Icarus again, it was genius. So we're getting into it now. Again, like we said earlier, fealorn will get the first turn, or the first pick rather, in this second match here, second game.
Yeah,
And Childish, do you feel as though that comp that Goku put together kind of threw fealorn for a loop? He wasn't really expecting to see that sort of build out, and that's why he wasn't as prepared to counter it?
I felt like he was prepared, but I was honestly surprised that he left that Icarus there. With regards to the Icarus, it's a pretty strong counter to...
Without banning.
Yeah, without banning here. But again, he had a couple of other really important monsters in the team, in the lineup, that was just a crucial factor of it. So I understand why he didn't ban it, but man, I think now he's going to really consider it coming up into this last round of picks.
Do you think Goku banning the Okeanos was really the real stumble for him? He might have been able to do a little bit better had he had the Okeanos out there?
Possibly, yeah.
I think fealorn might have been betting that he was going to be banning out the Fermion.
Sure.
Which is why he let the Icarus go through. But like we said, he still had to deal with the Wed Panda, so it could have gone either way. But it looks like we're having very, very similar picks here going into this second game. And
Apples for apples, I think,
yeah,
thus far.
everything so far is exactly the same, but it could come down to those last two monsters. We got another
Yes.
LD Nat 5 from fealorn. Is he going to lock it down?
He is. That is going to be Celia, the Light Heart Magician. This is one that fealorn talked to me on the side not even 3 hours ago. This is going to bring a unique aspect into this particular play. His passive is going to be able to remove a beneficial effect and be able to sleep an opponent at random. So this can really upset Goku if he decides to get rid of that Wusa, who actually has the immunity for 3 turns, Clay.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because anytime you pull out LD Nat 5s, it's monsters that you don't normally play against.
Correct.
So you have to figure out how you're going to strategize against them pretty much on the fly. Looks like Goku does go with a Anavel last choice, and now it's just down to the ban stage. Who would you ban in this situation if you were them?
This is going to be pretty hard. I think I'm kind of going along with him with regards to the Ganymede. Ganymede plus any of these units that he's bringing is just going to be super, super strong. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what Goku decides to do on the other side. Is he going to let Celia go? We'll have to wait and see. He doesn't let Celia. You know what, though? It is a wild card there, and he's... I like that choice. I like that choice.
The LD Nat 5s are ban magnets.
Yep.
They are
Definitely.
completely ban magnets.
So here we go. It is game 2 between Goku and fealorn. fealorn's back up against the wall. He needs to win this game to force the third.
All right, it looks like fealorn does get the first turn. Going to use Beset to go ahead and resurge those attack bars for the entire party. It looks like Okeanos is going to follow through. Is he going to go for the stun? Is he going to possibly reset? Yes, he does get the reset. Nice job by fealorn there, getting the reset on Wusa. Wusa's not going to be able to provide that immunity now. Now we have to see what he's going to do. It looks like he's going to switch into his human form so he can get that immunity up and possibly use his main skill to get that defense break. No, he actually goes for Tiana. I think that's a good point there. Tiana being able to re-cleanse all of those beneficial effects. So really good choice there. So holding back on that defensive buff. We got a couple of defense breaks in here. 3 out of the 4 monsters sitting with a 3-turn defense break. This is really going to hurt fealorn. fealorn again having Fermion with a defense scaling monster right there. So this is going to set his damage back just a little bit.
That Wind Panda doing a lot of damage to the Fermion now, and I think fealorn being in a much better situation in this fight, judging by the monsters that he already has out, but a lot of damage coming down from that Tiana, which you don't really expect to happen very often from that second skill, but a full team stun from Okeanos. All 4 monsters now completely stunned out. Again, fealorn looking really, really good. Just needs to be able to take down either the Anavel, I would say, or the Wusa. But with Wusa now losing that defense break because he got that violent proc, he's got to go after the Anavel, maybe get the provoke, but a lot of damage from Fermion. 1 shot in the Anavel, and it's putting fealorn in a really, really, really good spot.
Definitely. I like the choice that he made once again. Wusa going to be the unit that's going to provide a lot of sustainability. He went ahead and reset, so Wusa's not going to be able to use that skill. Of course, Tiana is going to be coming up really shortly. Is she going to use her window changes to clear out the rest of the unity? I don't know. I don't think there's a lot to do right now. I mean, all the other units here, Amelia and Fermion, are just about to use their turn. So I like the choice to work on the defense break, get Bastet out of the way, which is another crucial beneficial effect bonus for their team.
And last match, we saw the 4-3 advantage early on for Goku. Now the 4-3 advantage for fealorn, courtesy of that stun and that one shot from the Fermion. Sitting pretty.
Sitting really, really good.
Really pretty, but again, never count out the Wind Panda. With that revenge buff on him, especially with Fermion also being kind of, you know, susceptible to defense breaks, it could potentially come back and solo everything, especially with having the 2 water monsters there as well that aren't going to be able to do much to the Fangyon. The only thing is that Okeanos, hopefully it's able to do enough damage to take it out, but that Fangyon is going to be scaling really, really well here.
Definitely. With regards to that Okeanos doing it again with that 3 stun on everybody, getting the reset on Tiana. It pretty much looks like a good win here by fealorn, but he has to hold it down, like we said before. The Wind Panda, you know, hold him back. Fangyon, it could definitely come back here if things work out their way.
Looks like he's still working down that Bastet, but down goes Wusa. So just the 2 wind monsters left, Tiana and Fangyon for Goku. But just make that 1 wind monster now because Fermion is doing some work here in this game.
Again, let's not count it out though. This is the chance that he's going to have. If Okeanos can essentially reset Fangyon, he's not going to be able to provide his counterattack that's going to provide a lot of additional damage for Fangyon. Is it going to be up? Nope, he looks like he goes for the defense break. Wow, Fermion taking a lot of damage here, almost knocked out. The provoke is on, so it's actually going to come back to Fermion. Is that good? I mean, there's nothing really he can do because it's just 4-1. He has to provoke him and go back to him.
And he missed the stun with Okeanos, so that leaves the Fangyon able to, you know, do some work, but he was frozen by Amelia, but it gets a violent proc. He's got to put the second skill up here, give himself a chance, and there it goes. Now he's got the revenge up. Fermion makes quick work of that, though, gets rid of it with his first skill, and Goku's most likely going to go down, so this is something that we've talked about in previous matches. Goku's got to take this time to figure out if he wants to maybe ban out that Okeanos next time because it was a really, really crucial unit for fealorn, and then maybe bring back that Icarus for game 3.
I agree. Couple more hits from fealorn's side to end it off. Will he get it done? Yes, he will. Round 2, game 2 goes to fealorn, taking it down. We are going to go to the 3rd match.
So as much as the Wind Panda is fabled for its ability to solo out against a full squad, not happening on that occasion. And you guys are right, that Okeanos felt like the critical unit for fealorn, which of course was banned on the first occasion, not banned out this time. So if it shows up again in the draft for fealorn, my guess is Goku may zero in on it.
Correct.
I personally would have probably banned out that Okeanos. I think it was just the question mark on Celia that he just wasn't sure about.
Right.
And he just wanted to get rid of that because he wasn't sure. He wanted to take his chances with the Okeanos. And Okeanos was able to get the reset on Wusa last match right off the get-go, which a fire monster going against a water monster isn't typically something that you'll see 100% happen all the time. So fealorn did get a little bit lucky, but here we go back with pretty much the same picks on both sides once again.
And could it have been gamesmanship on fealorn's part, putting the LD Nat 5 out there, creating a little bit of that doubt in Goku's mind, and drawing the ban that direction, where maybe he had no intention of employing it as effectively as he's able with the Okeanos?
Yeah, I think he definitely wanted to use it there. I mean, that's the good thing. No one knew he actually had that unit, so that's really going to pull an upset, you know, kind of a wild card. So if he wanted that Okeanos to fly, it was pretty good choice. I like that pick.
And no doubt there are 14 others paying really close attention to what's happening over here as they continue to mold their strategies as they await their matches.
Yeah, and the interesting between these two are they're the first ones up. They had very, very little time to prepare against their opponents, but each match going forward after this, they have a little bit more time to figure out how their strategy is going to be going into their first matches.
Yep.
But these guys are kind of flying in cold right now.
And if they get through that first match, they could end up facing the winner of this match at some point, so they've had a little bit of a sneak peek scouting report opportunity.
Yes, definitely. Looks like the team has been locked down from Goku. We're now waiting on fealorn to pick it. He has about 12 seconds to decide. This is a pretty interesting lineup coming up here on Goku's side. A lot of crowd control with regards to the Ganymede, and then we got Tiana, Rakuni, some research action, and then of course his damage dealers, Fangyon and Icarus. Okay, it looks like he's going to lock it down with Amelia, the water unicorn, looking to ban that Icarus. I think that's a great choice considering how much damage it can put out. I mean, both Fangyon and Icarus can put out some good damage, but considering what he's kind of laid out here, do you think that's the right choice to make, Clay?
I think it got to be between the Icarus, the Ganymede, or the Fangyon. I know that sounds kind of funny saying that there's 3 monsters that I got to ban out, but when it comes down to it, that's really the strategy behind it. You got to make sure that you're taking out one of those damage-dealing monsters, really. But it looks like Goku is going to leave in Okeanos, and we'll see how it fares out to him. But Bastet is going to get the first turn. Okeanos is going to get the second turn, as we saw in the last game as well. And is he going to go after the... He's got to go after Ganymede.
He has to go after Ganymede.
Ganymede or Tiana.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Did not get it
did not
on
get it.
Ganymede.
He got it every other match, but he did not get it today. Unbelievable.
So now Tiana's going to go remove the whole will from, or the immunity from Fealorn's team, give himself a chance to now reset his monster of choice, which in this situation, if you were Goku, who would you be resetting if you were using as Ganymede?
With regards to Ganymede, I probably would have reset Annabelle. I don't know, because Okeanos already went through his main skill, but again, he still had the 3-turn stun, or the AoE stun available. I don't know, it's interesting. It's interesting to see.
So he did choose to go after Annabelle, leaving that third skill up from Okeanos on a full team here. So does get the nice resurge though from Rakuni, making that Ganymede have another turn. Hopefully he's maybe looking for a violent proc, and then also going to reset the Okeanos right now as well. There goes the ventilate. Did not get the violent proc.
He did not. He did not. But I like his choice there from Goku working on that Amelia. Amelia providing that passive, as you can see right there. Blessed Wings, getting the immunity up every single time. That's a really nice counter to the Ganymede, which of course you guys know is a very crucial monster that everybody uses.
3 teams stunned there from Okeanos, but that Rakuni does not really care too much about that, does he, Childish?
Nope, not this time around. This Rakuni, a 3-star monster, one of the top 3-star supporting monsters in the RTA game today. Ton of the top 16 players, or the 60 players going to be playing today, are going to be using this monster. Really, really nice passive.
And it looks like he's changing targets there a little bit. I'm not sure if he's looking to maybe take out the Annabelle now, or maybe switching targets from Amelia. I would say if I were on Goku's team, I would just power through that Amelia until it's down, and then focus on the Annabelle afterwards.
Yep, and this is one of the things a lot of the Summoners War community sometimes underestimate, that value of the defensive mechanic. It's super hard to break down the opponents when they have that defensive buff. So again, really, really strong. I like that they're still working on that Amelia.
Yeah, and it might have just been a misclick there while he put the damage onto Annabelle.
All right, it looks like Rakuni is now up. Going to be continuously trying to work on that Amelia now. Tiana trying to get it done. Did not get it in. Just super close to here. I think Bastet is going to be coming up here short. Hopefully she can get that Oasis blessing, but I think Ganymede has something to say about that.
Ganymede is definitely going to be taking the next turn, but the Purifying Wave comes up from Amelia. Does not get down the Amelia. Wow. That is insane. Just hanging on by a sliver there. But here comes Feng Yan, able to finish off. It's disheartening to see that you needed to take a whole nother turn from Feng Yan on that Amelia.
And again, like we said before, he had that defensive buff on. Fealorn had that defensive buff. That was it. That made it. But of course, they still ended up taking it down.
Perfect timing coming in from that Tiana to remove all those buffs that Fealorn had on his team. And I would switch targets now. I'd finish off that Annabelle and then work on the Okeanos after that, and it's pretty much game over from there. But a two-person stun. Not exactly what Fealorn was looking for, but it is leaving Ganymede in a really tough position, able to get the reset on Ganymede. And if Annabelle's able to finish it off,
trying to get those 3-turn defense breaks in. It looks like it landed on Rakuni, but of course Rakuni cannot cleanse it. His passive is going to provide a cleanse on the unit with the lowest HP. As you can see right there, he removed the harmful effects on Ganymede. So of course Rakuni is still at a disadvantage here. If the Okeanos gets a chance to go, possibly going to be taken out. But as you see right there, he actually resurged Rakuni to try to get those defense breaks on, get a little bit more heals. Now it's up to Goku's Feng Yang. It looks like he wants to stay a little bit on the defensive side, get his buff up so he can generate those counterattacks, as you guys can see.
Yeah, both players definitely not out at this point. They can absolutely come back in the match. So this one's kind of a nail-biter to the end, because whoever wins this match goes on to the next round. Unfortunately, it's kind of win or go home right now, like you said.
This is the best of 3. If you're Fealorn right now, guys, who are you zeroing in on? It's got to be the Ganymede?
It's got to be the Ganymede. There's not really much you can do with the Wind Panda right now, because that's going to be revenging every single time, putting defense breaks on, and it's got to be the Ganymede. I would say the next one would probably be the Rakuni, in my opinion.
Rakuni, yeah, I like that choice here. With regards to Tiana, like Tiana's going to be sitting back, holding her skills until fealorn casts his buff here. It looks like he takes out Annabelle now. We're sitting here, Goku in favor with 4 monsters to 2. Nice play, finishing off that Annabelle. All right, Rakuni is up now, working down that Okeanos. Okeanos going to be providing the AoE stun, so I like the choice to try to bring it down.
Well, he did get the reset on Okeanos from Ganymede, so perfect timing on that as well. And Goku is in a really, really, really strong position right now. Gonna get the defense break, plus the violent proc. Is gonna just keep bringing down the damage, or is he gonna use the second skill? He does go with the second skill to just kind of play it safe a little bit, get the heals on, and again, massive damage from that Tiana to pretty much seal the deal, and just like that, seal magic again.
And that also shows the respect that Goku has for fealorn as well. The other components here, not just trying to use that skill, taking a step back and just wait until the final thing is over.
And fealorn resigning, giving Goku the win in Game 3 and the win in the match. Gentlemen, as we watched it, it looked like for a time fealorn was still in contention. But ultimately, what was the turning point in that match, in that Game 3 there?
I think it came down to the pick ban stage in that last final game, because there's a few key units that Goku was kind of dancing around the first time. He wasn't sure how he was going to deal with the Okeanos, but he left it in there and was able to deal with it sufficiently this time.
He also had 3 picks himself that you claimed, all of which would have been really good candidates to ban. Was it just a matter of too many good selections left for Goku at that point for fealorn to really ban out efficiently and leave himself a shot to win?
I do believe so. With regards to the teams that they're going to be bringing today, they have a really good amount of synergy, and so there's going to be a lot of options for you to ban. Even if you ban a monster, they still can make do with the 4 out of the 5 monsters. They have some backups in play when they're trying to create their compositions.
And we've got a correspondent in play. Her name is Maria Ho, and she is standing by right now with the winner of match number 1, Goku.
Goku, congratulations on moving on. Did you feel pretty good in Game 3 when your Wind Fairy King was able to resist Okeanos' Spear of Devastation?
Yeah, of course, that's a really important point, because the resistance gave me a chance to counter back and reset the skills. So I think I take a good advantage from there.
How does it feel being the first person to play and compete in a live audience in a single elimination format?
Well, that's super nervous, I guess, because they only told me to go first, like 10 minutes before the match. I didn't have any time to prepare. Well, I got some luck, I guess.
Okay, well, I hope you feel a little more prepared because you're moving on.